folks, Gareth here from tracyandmatt.co.uk, and I have the Samsung Galaxy Gear here. This is our first look at it. I'm going to do a little bit of an unboxing of this this wearable that is causing quite a storm at the moment, in that some people don't believe it's as good as it should really be, but we're going to just have a quick look at it here and see what it's all about. Okay, well obviously it comes in the now typical Samsung Enviro packaging thing. It's obviously made out of recycled materials, which would be freaking cool. And right on the top here we have the actual device itself. Seems to already have some dust on it from the inside of the packaging. But this is the grey version here. It's got a grey strap. It's actually got a bit of a hint of brown to it as well. It's quite a nice strap, quite chunky, but we'll come back to that later on. The rest of the innards are housed here. On this side we have our UK plug adapter, which is micro USB, very handy. It's a bit of a different plug to what I'm used to from Samsung. It feels a lesser material, to be honest. Nothing else in there, nothing else in there. And then over this side we have this little cradle thing that allows you to charge it. It's also a sort of a light brownish kind of grey, which opens up. You get your Pogo Plug connectors there for, well, I sometimes think that there's a faster charging solution, but I guess since it connects to micro USB, it's only going to charge as fast as micro USB will let. So the device itself is metal, which is very unusual for Samsung. It's quite a nice feel to it. It doesn't feel too heavy. Get rid of that. And we've got some dust under the screen, which isn't particularly nice. So this is the device. I'll move that out of the way in case my autofocus starts picking it up. We've got a power button here. We've got a microphone just there. Around the front we have some screws on the bezel and some more on the top there. And then on this side we just have a microphone. Obviously that's either side, for depending on which way you wear the watch, on whichever wrist. We have a strap down here, which is, you can hopefully remove it if you wish here. I believe that they sell other types of straps so you can fiddle around with them. And then we have the mechanism here for latching it to your wrist. And there's some more protective pieces of plastic on here, and this is a loudspeaker, I'm led to believe. It's quite big, quite chunky, quite bulky. And then over here we have the, what is it? That's a 1.9 megapixel camera, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Inside the device we have an 800 megahertz Equinox CPU, and this is a 1.63-inch Super AMOLED display, which is 320 by 320. So that should prove to be quite a crisp display. I know some of the images and the other videos show that the display itself is really quite nice. Okay, and there's all kinds of little bits of plastic flaking off here. Right, okay, it records, obviously the camera also records in 720p, which is kind of nice, but I have a Galaxy Note 2 here. Recently it's been updated to Android 4.3, so we're going to have a go and see if we can pair this to this. And I haven't done this before, so bear with me. Excuse me. So there we go, we're turning on here. Pretty silent at the moment. Okay, so it's asking me to put my Galaxy against this. So we'll just set that down for a minute. I'll turn on the NFC on this. I was playing a game earlier, as you can tell. That's NFC turned on. Okay, so this is Gear Manager and it's installing. That's a good sign. And we'll just let that work away in the background, see what we can do with this in the meantime. Very little. So while that's installing, the reason why I got this is because I have been using the Sony smartwatch for a little while, and I've seen the benefits of having a wearable, especially whenever you have a large phone. And recently the 4.3 update on this has broken this, and I'm not able to pair the two. I'm sure there's some way to do it, but I just figured I'd use the opportunity to go out and get one of these. So that's the two smartwatches I have together. This is quite small. I've always thought it was quite small, so by comparison the Gear isn't huge. It's not a massive device, and if I was to try and place this on my wrist, and I do have fairly large wrists, I need to adjust that because it's pinching somewhat. So to adjust, like with most watches, you would pop that out and pull it up a wee bit. Oh, here we go. We have a connection here. Pair with it. Okay, and give us a tick there. And there we go. The two devices are working in harmony. So if we place this on the wrist, like so, it's not too large. In fact, it's really quite comfortable. We compare that to the Sony one, which was dinky, and it sat up quite considerably. This one, it actually makes quite a bit of sense on a large bulky wrist like my big fat one here. Okay, so on here it's asking us to accept terms and conditions. I have read them. We hit next and see what we can do. Okay, more terms and conditions. And there we go. So we're connected to the Samsung Galaxy Gear. Swipe screen downward from the edge to go back. Swipe downwards or upwards from the edge for the Gear to open a selected application. Double tap on the screen with two fingers to open the brightness and volume. Okay, I'll probably need to go over that again. Okay, so we press that button for screen on. Powering off. Okay, seems fairly simple. And there we go. We've got the Gear Manager, clocks, apps, Samsung apps, Find My Gear, notifications, settings and help. So let's have a quick look at the device now. It shows the time and the temperature. We can take some pictures. There's a picture of my display cabinet. Swipe left to open the gallery. And there's the picture that I just took. Obviously it's a bit fuzzy around here because there is a bit of plastic over the camera. And it's actually a little ring. Very nice. Let's try that again. How do we get back to the camera again? Oh, we press the camera button. Oh, that records. Okay, so we'll take a picture of this little honky here. And there's that picture. we can hit that. Delete, share. Share is grayed out. Possibly because I haven't set up this. We'll just delete it. Okay, so we have notifications. Oh, there is an update now to the software which I will have to install. And the smartwatch itself is updating. Hopefully this brings some new exciting features to it that might never have been seen before by human eyes. It's nice to see it's got the little Android screen. Note on the phone that it's disconnected, surprisingly. Okay, so it failed to update the firmware. So auto lock, double pressing power key. So in typical Samsung fashion, there seems to be a setting for absolutely everything on here, and it's going to take quite some time to go through it. So we will do that in time for the review. But right now, this has been a first look at the Samsung Galaxy Gear. It does seem to be, it's not as big as people had made out. It seems quite a comfortable device. I'm looking forward to getting into it a good bit. I can think of better ways to charge it, mind you. Okay, so I am having a bit of trouble trying to get that firmware to update. So we'll just go through some of the features on here. Obviously we can adjust the clock faces as we wish. We can put in analog clocks, digital clocks, dual clocks, shortcut clock, which seems one of the most logical things for us, and quite nicely we can adjust what shortcuts are on there, which is kind of handy. So if you don't particularly want to use S voice, which is one big problem that Samsung have, in that they encourage you to use S voice, you can switch it over to something else. In addition to that, there are applications. Now there's these are the favourites apparently: S voice, voice memo, which I've heard is one of the handiest features of the Galaxy Gear. There are other apps that can be installed: camera apps, contacts, dialer, galleries, stopwatches, schedules. And then there's featured as well: Glimpse, Runtastic, Line, Evernote. So this page is it. That's everything that's available at the moment. It's not terribly exciting. We can also go into Samsung apps, which will open up basically the Samsung apps one. So under entertainment we have the ability to play radio, camera 360, quick dice, and pocket. Can't imagine why pocket would be terribly useful on there, but who knows. Health and fitness, Runtastic. Endomundo's not on there, however Endomundo was on this little beastie here, which was kind of handy. Social networking, everything seems to get fairly low in the start, aside from Kakao Talk. I notice there's no Facebook or Twitter there just at the moment. Utilities. Seems to be pretty much what we've already seen, with a few added additions. Life 360's on there, which is quite a handy little app for the family. And then clock faces, which doesn't exactly seem to be hugely populated either. Okay, so if we're going back again, we can hit Find My Gear. there it is. Handy. And I'm guessing it works the other way around as well. You turn notifications on and off. In the settings menu we have auto lock, double pressing power key. That opens up S-Voice, or you can tell it what to open. So you can have it open the camera. If we double press that, we should get the camera. Huzzah! Okay, so smart relay. View content from your gear on your mobile device by picking up your mobile device. Wake up gestures allow apps from unknown sources, which I imagine would probably be quite handy. That'll get you a lot more connectivity there. And that appears to be about it for the gear manager. So let's do some swiping and see what we can do. How do we get back to the top? We turn that on. Okay. Settings. Notifications. S-Voice. Voice memo. Gallery. Media controller. Okay, we'll stop that because of copyright. How do we get back? Pedometer. Settings. What settings do we have on here? We have the clock. Shock attack, date, time, hourly alert. See, I'm not entirely sure how to go back. Sound, volume, display, touch sounds, ringtones, notifications, vibration, preferred arm. That's handy. Volume, ringtones, notification, and system. Display, brightness, screen timeout. So there's a wealth of handy little bits and pieces here. To customize it, it's not quite as dumb as some people have made out. Find my device. I have located my device. It's notable that that rings the ringtone of the phone. Logs, media controller, S-Voice settings, and a stopwatch. And the weather. It's going to rain. Logs. So the device itself, it's well constructed. It's very un-Samsung-y with this metal band around the outside. Metal fascia. You can see that it's quite fingerprinty there. I don't know if you can see the oils from the little bit of swiping that I've done. However, this feels like it would polish up very quickly by just quickly rubbing it on a sweater or a sleeve. There it is. It's immaculate now after one quick wipe, so it's an easy fix. The strap feels quite durable, if a little plasticky. It would be nice to swap that out for maybe a nice leather strap or something that, something silvery, possibly. At the bottom here, it does seem a little bit bulky, and I know that I myself have had problems with bulky bottoms to the wristwatch. This is quite a narrow strap, so whenever I was to have that on, it would almost be like that with that underneath, and that itself was quite restrictive, especially on the edge of a desk or something. So I imagine this is going to get in my way quite a bit, although thankfully it's metal. I do wonder how long this writing is going to last, if it's going to constantly touch a desk or be rubbing against things. I think that Samsung will probably come off quite quickly. It's merely a sticker, or is it? Well, might be. This thing will become tiresome, I'm sure. It's quite nice to start with, because it seems like quite a nice little way to charge your device. Quite a nice way to charge your device. Although it beggars belief that this micro USB socket wasn't just implanted on the side of the device here, or well, this side maybe, and you could just plug it in like that, meaning you don't have to take this with you everywhere you go. It's just going to be typical whenever you run for the plane, you're late for the plane to go on holiday or something, or go off to a business trip, and then you realise on the plane you've left this behind, and this is going to prove rather useless to you after a day. However, we'll see in the future. We'll get a review done fairly quickly using those two together and see how it goes. I plan to use this as my main watch for the foreseeable future, so I'll be reviewing this in the long term as well, so I'll probably put up a few extra videos about it as new exciting features become available. But until then, remember to check the website for reviews and listen in for the Mobile Tech Addicts podcast. We'll be talking more about it on there as well. And take care, happy Christmas, happy holidays.